Akira Kurosawa was born March 23, 1910 in Urabe, Tokyo, the youngest of 7 children. Far from being a brilliant pupil, one of his professors was able to develop an early passion that surely influenced his directing career: painting. Encouraged by his family, Akira adapts this skill to cinema in 1936 and begins work in the film industry as an assistant director. 7 years later, Kurosawa made his directorial debut with Sugata Sanshiro. The film was a success and was followed by the films Drunken Angel and Stray Dog. This led to the production of Rashomon, which brought Kurosawa international fame and won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. Kurosawa is best known for his period pieces known as Jedageki, or period play, such as Seven Samurai and Ran. In addition, several of his films dealt with contemporary Japan. For example, Akira, which deals with the Japanese bureaucrat and his struggles. These early films allowed Kurosawa to create a specific style, giving all of his films a unique look. He favored telephoto lenses and pioneered the use of multiple cameras, a now common practice. Kurosawa was also one of the first to use weather to heighten the mood, as he did in Seven Samurai, one of his greatest films. Winner of a Silver Lion from the Venice Film Festival, the film is often considered one of the 10 greatest movies ever.
Wait! Yuki!
Many believe Seven Samurai to be the first true action movie. In addition, it pioneered such cinematographic elements such as slow motion and panning battle shots that continue to influence the cinema worldwide. The film, which inspired spaghetti westerns, also spawned many western counterparts. The Magnificent Seven, Battle Beyond the Stars, and De Geek Vostok are all remakes of the Seven Samurai. The comedy film Three Amigos spun a twist on the samurai plot. The gun-slinging Ronin are actually professional actors who think they are being hired to pretend to save a town from bandits. The same idea was later replicated in the animated film A Bug's Life, and Star Trek spoof Galaxy Quest. The Seven Samurai theme also had been adopted into several novels, Stephen King's novel Wolves of the Kala being just one of them. Seven Samurai was not the only Kurosawa film that inspired other films. Yojimbo's story of a conniving bodyguard was later retold as A Fistful of Dollars, Youth of the Beast, and The Last Man Standing. But probably the most influential inspiration from a Kurosawa film is that of The Hidden Fortress, on which Star Wars is heavily based upon.
I grew up in a small town, Central California, and the movie theaters there didn't show much beyond Bridge on the River Kwai and The Blob. So I didn't really experience foreign films until I found my way into film school. And at that point is when I was actually exposed to Kurosawa. And a friend of mine, John Milius, actually was a huge fan of Kurosawa's. And so whenever the film was showing, he'd say, "Oh, you got to come and see this. You got to come and see this." And after the first one, I mean, the first one I saw was Seven Samurai, and after that I was completely hooked. I said, this is really good. In the beginning of Hidden Fortress, the first shot, for example, is the two peasants are panicked about something and everything, and you can't really see what it is. And it's the shot remains there as the horsemen sweep through it, and then you realize what's going on, and then they go away, and you're still sort of in the same frame. The one thing about Hidden Fortress is it did influence me in doing Star Wars, because as I was beginning to write the screenplay and put it together, I remembered Hidden Fortress, and I remembered the one thing that really struck me about Hidden Fortress, and I was really intrigued by, was the fact that the story was told from the two lowest characters. I decided that that would be a nice way to tell the Star Wars story, which is to take the two lowliest characters, as Kurosawa did, and tell the story from their point of view, which in the Star Wars case is the two.
The relationship of R2-D2 and C-3PO is very similar to that of Tahi and Matakihi. Also, the characters of Princess Leia and Obi-Wan Kenobi mirror those of General Rotokora Mahibi and Princess Yukimihi. Yukimihi's technique of disguising herself as a peasant is mirrored in the first Star Wars prequel by Queen Amidala, who disguises herself as the handmaiden Padme. Kurosawa adapted as many ideas from the West as he borrowed, his most notable inspiration being William Shakespeare. The Bad Sleep Well, based on Hamlet, Ron, based on King Lear, and Throne of Blood, based on Macbeth. In 1971, Akira attempted suicide after several of his movies failed and he lost all financing. Fortunately, his attempt failed and he was hired to direct a Russian film, Derusu Usala, made in the USSR and set in Siberia. It was the only Kurosawa film made outside Japan and not in Japanese. It won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. Two Kurosawa admirers, George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, financed his next film, Kagemusha, the story of a man who is the double of a medieval Japanese lord and takes over his identity. The film is based on the tale of The Prince and the Pauper. The film won a Golden Palm at the Cannes Film Festival. Most important was Ran, Kurosawa's version of King Lear set in medieval Japan. It was the great project of Kurosawa's late career, and he spent a decade planning it and trying to obtain funding. The film was a phenomenal international success, and it is generally considered Kurosawa's last masterpiece. Ran was Kurosawa's favorite film. It had been hailed for its powerful images and expert use of color, and won the Academy Award for costume design in 1985. The film also pioneered the practice of replacing sound with film score, a method used commonly in films today, including Saving Private Ryan and Lord of the Rings. In 1990, Kurosawa was awarded an honorary Oscar for cinematic accomplishments that have inspired, delighted, enriched, and entertained worldwide audiences and influenced filmmakers throughout the world. This was only his second Oscar. Kurosawa continued to make films through the last years of his life. Dreams is a series of vignettes based on his own dreams. Rhapsody in August is about memories of the Nagasaki atom bomb, and his final film, Matadayo, is about a retired teacher and his former students. On September 6, 1998, the legacy ended when renowned Japanese director died at the age of 88. Kurosawa, the sensei of cinema, had finally gone. Kurosawa's technical proficiency and poetic translations of traditional Japanese theater into epic form brought Japanese film to the rest of the world. But it is his cinematic innovations that changed modern filmmaking that he will be remembered for.
I think somebody asked Kurosawa once, what is in your movies? What are they about? Why are you making them? And he said he's always trying to answer the question, Why can't people be happier? And why can't they be happier together?